Welcome to the Rock and Roll Time Machine. Our museum exhibit is situated in the Museum of Popular Culture, located in Seattle, Washington. The Mopop has its roots in rock and roll, making it the ideal location for the rock and roll experience. Here you can see, on level 3, our museum situated. Here's the layout of our museum. Our museum consists of 8 rooms, each marking a different decade in rock and roll history. We wanted to highlight these artists and bands by giving visitors a taste of what it would be like to experience them live in concert. Each decade that has a featured artist performing via hologram. The sounds, sights, smells, tastes, and feelings are all decade specific. For example, you walk into the 1950s room and hear Chuck Berry's raging guitar solo to Johnny B. Good, and you experience him live in concert. For the purpose of constraint, we decided to focus on the Beatles room in the 60s and the Future room as our main designs. The Beatles were the most influential popular music group of the rock era. They affected the post-war baby boom generation of Britain, the United States, and many other countries during the 1960s. Certainly, they were the most... Upon entering the Beatles room, visitors are faced with the hologram Beatles performing live on The Ed Sullivan Show. As we continue on from the Beatles room, visitors experience Queen and Freddie Mercury's beautiful voice. They experience the 80s with Blondie. They experienced grunge and basement rock and roll and Nirvana. And going on to Green Day, in the 2000s, they experienced punk for the first time. Going into 2010s, they experienced the new sound of the Alabama Shakes. And then they are prompted with the future. Welcome back to 2017. You have had a long journey through the history of rock and roll. But we aren't finished yet. It's now time to think about the future. This year's most critically acclaimed albums will mostly be made by pop stars, rappers, and people who work loosely under the category of R&B. Rock and roll's entries in the Best of 2017 lists will undoubtedly come from legacy acts, some of which you just listened to and experienced. There's no doubt rock and roll is facing a fork in the road, and a crisis. In 2016, the iconic frontman for The Who, Roger Daltrey, stated this: "Rock is dead. Long live rock and roll. Rock has reached a dead end. The only people saying things that matter are the rappers. Rock and roll music today has been defined by death, resentment, and baby boomers making